The city woke up early that morning, and the tall glass building stood quietly as the sun reflected from its windows. Inside the building, people began to arrive one by one, carrying bags and wearing tired faces from long commutes. Among them walked a man named Adam, holding the small hand of his young son Leo. Adam was a single father who worked in the building as a security assistant, and that day he had no choice but to bring his son with him. Leo could not hear, and the world around him was always silent, but his eyes noticed everything. Adam and Leo moved slowly through the large entrance hall where footsteps echoed and screens glowed on the walls. Adam bent slightly and signed to his son that they would stay close and everything would be fine. Leo nodded and held his father's hand tighter as he looked around with curiosity. He had been to the building before, but only for short visits, and today felt different. People passed by them without paying much attention as the lobby filled with movement. Some laughed while others checked their phones, and many rushed toward the elevators. Adam watched carefully as part of his job, and his eyes scanned the space just as they always did. He had learned to be alert because responsibility followed him everywhere, not only as a worker but also as a parent. Across the lobby, a woman stepped inside through the main doors with confident, calm steps. Her name was Maya, and she was the CEO of the company that owned the building. She was known for her sharp mind and quiet authority, and most people recognized her the moment she entered. Employees straightened up when they noticed her presence, and whispers followed her path. Maya walked forward, reviewing thoughts about meetings and reports in her mind. She did not rush, but she did not waste time either. As she moved closer to the elevators, her eyes briefly scanned the crowd out of habit. That was when she noticed Adam and Leo standing near one of the pillars. At first it was nothing unusual, but then she saw the way Adam's hands moved quickly in front of his chest. She recognized the motions instantly because years ago she had learned sign language for a volunteer project. She had not used it much since then, but it never fully left her memory. Maya slowed her pace as she watched more closely. Adam's face looked tense and focused, and Leo's eyes were wide as he responded with fast, nervous movements. Something about their exchange felt urgent. This was not a casual conversation between a father and son. Adam noticed a man near the loading entrance on the side of the lobby. The man stood apart from the crowd and did not seem interested in where he was going. His jacket hung heavy and his hand stayed close to his side. Adam felt uneasy, and his training told him to pay attention. Adam did not want to alarm anyone, especially his son. He stayed calm on the outside, but his mind raced inside. He signed to Leo to stay still and keep watching quietly. Leo followed his father's gaze and noticed the same man. Leo felt something was wrong, though he could not hear the sounds around him. He read the room through faces and movements. The man's posture and stillness made Leo nervous. Leo signed to his father, asking what was happening. Adam hesitated and then answered carefully, choosing calm movements. He told Leo that they needed to be careful and stay alert. Leo swallowed and nodded. Maya was now close enough to clearly see Leo's hands move again. What Leo signed next made her stop walking completely. His message was simple but heavy. "Help me, he has a weapon." Maya felt her chest tighten, but her face remained calm. She did not react suddenly or show fear. Years of leadership had trained her to control her reactions. She took a slow breath and turned slightly toward Adam and Leo. Adam noticed her movement and realized she was watching them. He expected confusion or questions, but instead Maya lifted her hands and replied in sign language. "Where?" Adam was stunned for a moment. He had not expected anyone else to understand. Relief washed over him, but he kept his face steady. He answered with small controlled movements, pointing subtly toward the loading entrance. Maya nodded gently. Her mind began working fast, connecting details and planning steps. She did not look toward the man directly to avoid drawing attention. Instead, she signed back to Adam to stay calm and not move. Adam nodded in agreement. Leo looked between them, realizing the woman understood him. His fear eased slightly, but his body stayed tense. Maya straightened her posture and walked casually toward the reception desk. To anyone watching, it looked like a normal workday moment. She leaned slightly and spoke quietly to the receptionist using a coded phrase that signaled an emergency. The receptionist's eyes widened briefly, then returned to normal as she followed procedure. She pressed a hidden alert and continued her work as if nothing was wrong. Around the lobby, small changes began to happen. Security staff adjusted their positions. Doors were quietly monitored. The elevators slowed and paused at floors. The man near the loading entrance shifted his weight, unaware of the invisible net forming around him. He glanced around, but saw nothing unusual. People still walked and talked, and the building seemed calm. Maya returned to stand near Adam and Leo, placing herself between them and the rest of the lobby. She signed to Adam again, telling him he did the right thing. Adam felt his throat tighten. He signed a quiet thank you. Leo watched Maya with a mixture of fear and admiration. Time felt stretched as seconds passed slowly. Adam focused on keeping his son calm. He signed reassuring words and Leo responded with small nods. The building continued to breathe around them, unaware of how close something serious had come. Maya kept her eyes forward, but her attention stayed sharp. This was only the beginning, and none of them knew yet how much this moment would change their lives. The lobby felt calm on the surface, but a quiet tension moved through the air as Adam stood beside his son and watched carefully. Maya remained close, and her calm presence helped steady the moment, even though the risk had not passed. Leo stayed silent and focused, reading faces and movements as his father had taught him to do. Adam kept his hands low, and still, so nothing would draw attention. People continued to walk through the space, unaware of the careful plan unfolding around them. Maya glanced toward the reception desk and saw the subtle confirmation she was waiting for. The signal had been received, and the process had begun. She did not rush because rushing creates mistakes. She chose patience because patience keeps people safe. Her training as a leader guided her choices in these seconds that felt longer than minutes. Security staff adjusted their paths in ways that looked natural to anyone watching. 2 guards moved closer to the loading entrance while another took position near the side corridor. Their faces showed no alarm, and their steps matched the rhythm of a normal workday. Adam noticed these changes and felt a small sense of relief. He signed to Leo that help was moving quietly, and Leo nodded with trust. The man near the entrance shifted again and looked toward the exit doors. His body language showed uncertainty, and that told Adam the timing mattered. Adam did not stare because staring invites attention. He kept his gaze soft and neutral as he always did when monitoring a space. Maya mirrored that calm and remained a steady anchor beside them. A guard approached the man with a friendly posture and an easy smile. He spoke softly and asked a simple question about directions. The man paused and answered briefly. Nothing about the exchange seemed unusual to passers-by. Another guard arrived from the side and stood nearby as if waiting for an elevator. The man hesitated again, and that hesitation changed everything. The guards exchanged a quick glance that confirmed their decision. They asked the man to step aside for a routine check, and their tone stayed respectful. The man took a step back and looked around as if measuring his options. There were none. More security staff arrived quietly and formed a loose circle that blocked any quick movement. The situation ended without noise and without panic. People nearby continued their routines, unaware that a serious moment had just been prevented. Adam released a breath he had been holding for too long. Leo looked up at his father and searched his face. Adam smiled gently and signed that they were safe now. Leo nodded and felt the tight feeling in his chest ease. Maya knelt slightly so she could be closer to Leo's eye level. She signed to him that he had been brave and smart. Leo's eyes lit up with pride and relief. The guards escorted the man away calmly and professionally. The lobby returned to its usual rhythm within moments. People checked their phones and stepped into elevators, and conversations resumed. The building carried on as if nothing had happened. Only a few people knew how close the day had come to changing. Maya stood and thanked Adam quietly through signs for his awareness and care. Adam responded with gratitude and respect. He did not seek praise and he did not seek attention. He only cared that his son and everyone else was safe. Maya noticed this, and it stayed with her. She asked Adam about Leo, and Adam shared that his son had learned to read situations early because silence sharpens observation. Maya listened carefully and felt a deep respect for both of them. She realized how important inclusion and understanding truly were in moments like this. As the authorities completed their work behind the scenes, Maya made sure the building stayed calm and open. She gave instructions that emphasized care and privacy. She did not want fear to spread because fear was not needed now. The problem had been handled and the lesson had been learned. Adam prepared to return to his duties and asked Leo if he was ready to wait in the staff lounge. Leo agreed and held his father's hand as they walked a few steps away. Maya watched them go and felt a sense of responsibility grow stronger inside her. She knew this moment should not be forgotten. Before Adam could leave, Maya signed one more message. She told him that she wanted to speak later when things settled. Adam nodded, unsure of what that meant, but trusting her calm approach. Leo glanced back and gave Maya a small wave, and she smiled in return. The day moved forward, but the meaning of what happened stayed alive. Adam continued his work with renewed focus and quiet pride. Leo sat with a book and watched the room with curious eyes. Maya returned to her schedule, but her thoughts stayed with the father and son. She understood that leadership was not only about decisions and numbers. It was also about listening in every form. She thought about how a skill learned long ago had made all the difference today. She promised herself that this would not be the end of the story. The building stood strong and peaceful as sunlight moved across its floors. People came and went without knowing what had been protected for them. In the center of it, all a simple act of understanding had changed the course of the day. And this moment was leading towards something bigger that none of them fully saw yet. The hours after the incident passed quietly, but the weight of what had happened stayed heavy in the air. Adam continued his shift with steady focus, but his thoughts often returned to the moment when Leo had warned him. Leo stayed nearby in a quiet room, watching people through the glass and feeling proud without fully understanding why. The building returned to normal, yet something invisible had changed within its walls. Maya finished her meetings later that afternoon, but her mind was not fully present. Numbers and plans moved across the table, yet her thoughts stayed with the father and son. She remembered the fear in Leo's hands and the calm strength in Adam's face. She knew moments like that revealed the true value of people, not titles. As the day moved toward evening, Maya asked her assistant to arrange a private meeting. She did not want attention, and she did not want rumors. She only wanted to speak openly and honestly. Adam received the message and felt nervous but respectful. He had never been called to the top office before. When Adam entered the office, he stood straight and waited quietly. Maya greeted him with warmth and asked him to sit. She did not rush into questions. She thanked him first for his awareness and his courage. Adam listened carefully and answered with humility. He explained that he only did what he believed was right. Maya asked about Leo, and Adam shared his story. He spoke about raising a child who experienced the world differently. He explained how silence had taught Leo to observe details others missed. Maya listened without interruption and felt a deep respect grow stronger with each word. She asked Adam how often people underestimated Leo. Adam smiled sadly and said it happened often. He explained that many people thought silence meant weakness. Maya shook her head and signed that silence can also mean strength. Adam felt understood in a way he had not felt before. Maya leaned back and considered the bigger picture. She spoke about safety training and awareness. She spoke about inclusion and understanding. She explained that the company needed to learn how to listen beyond sound. Adam realized this conversation was not only about the past but about the future. She offered Adam a new role, helping train staff to notice quiet signals and subtle signs. She wanted him to help build a safer environment for everyone. Adam was stunned and speechless for a moment. He had never imagined such an opportunity. Adam asked if his lack of formal education would be a problem. Maya smiled and told him that lived experience was a powerful teacher. She said skills could be learned, but awareness and care could not be forced. Adam felt emotion rise in his chest, and he accepted with gratitude. When Adam returned to Leo, he knelt and signed the news. Leo's eyes widened, and his smile grew bright. He signed that he was happy for his father. Adam hugged his son gently, knowing this moment would shape their future. In the days that followed, changes slowly began to appear. Training sessions were planned and new ideas were shared. Posters encouraged awareness and respect. Sign language classes were offered, and many employees joined out of curiosity and care. Leo visited the building more often, and people greeted him with friendly signs. He felt seen and valued in a way he never had before. Adam watched with pride as his son connected with others. Maya observed these changes quietly, knowing they mattered deeply. The building felt different now, not louder but more aware. People noticed each other more. Small gestures carried meaning. Silence was no longer ignored. It was respected. Adam often thought about how one moment had led to another. He realized that courage does not always shout. Sometimes it speaks softly through hands and eyes. Leo continued to grow confident and curious. He knew his voice mattered even without sound. Maya reflected on leadership and purpose. She understood that listening required effort and intention. She promised herself to carry this lesson forward. She knew this story was still unfolding. The sun set each day behind the glass building, casting long shadows across the floor. Within those walls, lives had changed quietly and deeply. What began as a moment of fear had become a path toward understanding. And the final part of this journey was still waiting to be told. Time moved forward, and the building slowly became a place known for awareness and calm. Adam stepped into his new role with care and patience, learning how to guide others without pressure. He spoke in simple ways and showed how small signs could carry big meaning. People listened because his words came from real moments and real care. Leo spent afternoons after school in the building, where he felt safe and welcome. Many employees learned basic signs just to greet him. Leo responded with bright smiles and growing confidence. He no longer felt invisible in crowded spaces. His world felt wider and kinder. Maya watched these changes quietly and felt proud without needing praise. She believed leadership was strongest when it lifted others. She continued supporting programs that valued different abilities. She made sure policies reflected respect and understanding. The company culture shifted in ways that could not be measured on charts. One evening, the building hosted a small gathering to share lessons learned. Adam stood before a group of employees and spoke calmly. He explained how awareness begins with attention. He shared how Leo noticed things others missed. The room stayed silent, not from fear but from respect. Leo stood beside his father and signed along with confidence. People followed his hands and felt the meaning behind each movement. Many felt emotion rise as they understood how powerful quiet communication could be. No one felt excluded in that moment. After the gathering, Maya thanked Adam and Leo again. She told them their courage had created lasting change. Adam replied that change happened because people were willing to listen. Leo signed that helping others felt good. Maya smiled and agreed. As weeks passed, the story spread beyond the building. Other companies reached out, asking how to build similar programs. Maya shared resources freely, believing safety and inclusion should not be guarded secrets. Adam helped train new teams and found purpose in his work. Leo began teaching signs to children at his school. He felt proud to share his world with others. His classmates learned quickly and friendships grew stronger. Silence no longer separated him. It connected him. Adam often reflected on the day everything changed. He remembered the fear but focused on the outcome. He knew that being alert and calm had protected many people. He also knew that trust and understanding had carried them forward. Maya reflected as well, thinking about the skill she once learned for a simple reason. She never expected it to matter so much. She realized that learning without immediate purpose can still shape the future. She encouraged others to keep learning beyond their comfort. The building continued to stand tall in the city filled with movement and life. People came and went carrying their own stories. Yet within those walls, a quiet promise remained. A promise to listen in every way possible. Adam and Leo walked through the lobby one morning holding hands. They moved with ease and confidence. People greeted them with smiles and signs. Leo waved back feeling strong and seen. Maya passed by on her way to a meeting and paused to greet them. She signed a simple hello and asked how their day was. Leo replied with excitement about school and friends. Adam watched with gratitude. In that moment there was no title or position that mattered. There were only people connected by understanding. The fear of that first day had transformed into something meaningful. The story of what happened was not told loudly or often. It lived quietly in changed habits and kinder choices. It lived in hands that spoke when voices could not. It lived in eyes that paid attention. And so the story ended not with shock or noise but with calm strength. A reminder that courage can be gentle. A reminder that listening can save lives. A reminder that even in silence powerful voices can be heard.